Hey, Steve Taylor here for Amazon.com, giving you a look at the Skullcandy Hesh ANC. This is kind of the middle of the road for Skullcandy. There are some that are more expensive. However, I don't think they're necessarily better. I know the Crusher series has a metal plate on the inside that gives it a bass vibration. Personally, I don't care for that too much, even though I've not tried the ones from Skullcandy, but I have tried ones from other companies. This case does not come with it. This is an iJoy case. It's around 10, 11 bucks. If you are going to get these headphones, I would suggest spending the money and getting a fairly firm case for a few extra bucks. It does come with a nice pouch. That's a pretty nice double material. I don't think that adds a lot of protection. Keeps it from being scratched, but doesn't keep it from being broken in a backpack or something. So they fold up really nice. They fit they just fit perfectly in here, and so plenty of room. These are not very large, so they are over the ear instead of on the ear, but they still are a small over the ear. In fact, I have the Beyerdynamic DT880s right here, and as you can see, there is a huge difference, and these are both over the ear headphones. So, but there is plenty enough room on the inside for most ears. If anybody's ever called you Dumbo, you might have a problem with it, but it does cover. It's a nice looking, pretty well made headphone for, I wouldn't say this is a rock bottom budget, because you can get a pair for 25 bucks from direct from China type companies. This one is definitely a way upgrade from them, but yet it's not a $350, $400, or I guess the new Apples are 500 and something, 600 bucks. Definitely not in that category, but for this price range, they're very well built. They have memory foam, very soft. I do not know if that comes off or not. It feels like it does, so it feels like they're replaceable. According to Skullcandy's website, there is no replacement pads being sold on there, but that doesn't mean there isn't pads out there from Brainwaves or Dakota or something like that that have, or Dakoni, that have the replacements for these. It has a matte finish black in most of it, but some of it like this and around some of the parts right here. I'm not sure why they did that, but just for style. I do like the matte. I'm going to just keep saying fat. I like the matte finish. It looks classy and it's unobtrusive. No bling at all. I don't need bling when I'm wearing headphones. These are not critical listening headphones. These are having fun, moving around type headphones. They actually work pretty well in the office because it gets rid of that cable. If your computer doesn't have Bluetooth, then you can get a little Bluetooth adapter to plug in your headphone jack, and those work great. That's what I'm using at my desk at work. It has a small pad here. It's super, super soft, so it doesn't add a lot of strength. These extend from the top here instead of from lower down here like most headphones do. It has to be on max in order to fit my head, and I do not have a big head. So if you do have a big head, you might have an issue with this. They could have added another inch or two, and that would have been great, but I think most of the people who get these are probably the youth and probably would fit just fine. But if you do have a tall head, it doesn't have to be wide, but you have a tall head, you may have a little bit of an issue, so make sure you save your receipt. They do swivel like this, and they swivel a little bit like this, but enough to get a very nice, comfortable fit. And if you're putting them on your shoulder, they lay flat just fine. They don't creak. They bend pretty well, so it's not that cheap plastic that creaks the whole time or is going to break real easy. So the materials are really nice. There are microphones. I believe there are 4 on here, so this is for the ANC to pick up sound, and then the electronics mutes it out. There is the 3.5 millimeter jack, which comes with a cable, so you can plug it directly into your phone. So if you run out of charge, even though there's a 22-hour charge, I think if ANC is off, you might even get 30. So your phone will tell you actually how much charge is left. And if you have 30 minutes left, the headset, there's a little lady that lives inside, and she'll tell you that you got 30 minutes left. Thankfully, the connector is USB-C, so the connector basically doesn't do a whole lot, except it'll last a lot longer than the micro USBs do, because it can go in either way. The controls are on the right side. I've had these wrong the whole time. The controls, and they're a rubber. They have a pretty high lift on them here. If you can see, it's kind of hard to see. So the round smooth dot is on and off, and you got your volumes and your skip tracks. And this round button here is to turn your ANC on and off. And it also, if you hit it twice, it gives you an ambient, so you don't have to take the headphones off. You can hear, it amplifies everything around you. So basically you have neutral, you have ANC, and you have an ambient mode. And all three, since I'm on the button, I'll tell you, I'm actually very surprised at how well the ANC works for this price bracket. I was expecting like the ones from China that you buy for $50, which basically just gets rid of the treble. This actually, if you have no music playing and you turn the ANC on, it's like you went deaf. So it cuts out all the air-conditioned sound. It cuts out all the ambient, like refrigerators and things like that. It doesn't cut out dogs barking and sirens and things like that, but it does muffle them. I had a couple workmates that were 2 desks away, and they were in a kind of a small little meeting, and they were talking at regular volume. And when I turned this on, I could barely hear them. And I had the music off. I just wanted to, in my process of testing them, I wanted to see how well it worked. And it muffled them enough to the point where I could barely hear them, which I'm actually very impressed with. If you need ANC, then this is really a great pair at a very reasonable price to get. Oh, by the way, there is a pad in here too, so it's comfortable on the ear also. I didn't mention that. Sorry, I don't have a script. Okay, what else? Sound, which is probably the reason why you're watching this video. I would say, as a budget audiophile guy, I would say that they are kind of middle of the road. They're definitely not audiophile. They're definitely not a piece of muddy garbage. They have a real good overall tone. I think the highs drop off early, and I think the bass drops off early. I think some of the it's kind of good on the mids. It's got a nice clean mid. The vocals are good, but these are not reaching points where you might think they would. If you're looking for ridiculous bass or really nice crisp highs, it has neither. I've tried them on different devices. I've tried them through amps. I have an amplifier that I connect a Bluetooth adapter to, and it still lacks in that high and low. But however, I'm being critical. They do really have a nice sound. I was actually surprised at how good they sounded. But if you compare them to a headphone like the DT990s, and this is the 250 ohm version, there's really no comparison, but there's not supposed to be. So I want to make that clear. These are for just bopping around. You're on I don't know, everybody always uses buses and trains. Most of us don't live in areas where or do we take them? But if you do, this is a good thing to have around. Or you're a student and you put them on between classes as you walk and that kind of thing. They really are a very nice sounding pair of headphones. So I'm sure that there's some things I'm forgetting. I think for the price, I'm going to give it 5 stars. They are not 5-star headphones. Neither are these biodynamic DT990s. However, they're close to a 5-star, but they are. I think for the price, both of them are 5 stars because they're just both very reasonably priced. But I think overall, I think you'd be very pleased with these. I think the controls are very intuitive. They're on your back thumb, so they're easy to use. I don't care for the lady that talks. That little lady inside, sometimes she needs to take a nap, but when you go between ANC on and off, she'll talk and tell you. It's like, I really don't need you to tell me because I can tell the difference. That's petty, but It's kind of annoying. It's not really necessary. But she seems polite about it, so I give her, that much credit anyway. So if you are looking for a good over-the-ear headset, you don't want to buy the Sonys, the Bose, or the Apples for $350 or $500, then I think you're going to be very pleased with these. I am Steve Taylor for Amazon.com.